Everything goes right, then you'll be able to hear that. And I'm listening for the probably dozenth freaking time now, the presser from the other day, the anniversary of Summer's disappearance. That's what I'm listening to right now. It was very rehearsed, it seems like, so that they didn't slip up. You know, we can't be slipping up, TBI. Oh, really? I love how they let her come in with those high ass boots, and still Ronnie was the shortest besides this third dude in the back. That's a tall chick. All these other irrelevant people at the press conference. So,
Can you solve case number 22-010?
how was everybody's week? I know my week kind of was like, just flew by. And I'm still trying to
Kingsport, Tennessee Police Department solved case number 22-010.
navigate through some stuff.
The individual pictured in these photos was recorded on surveillance video during a recent incident reported to the Kingsport Police Department. If you recognize this person, please contact the
I'd rather have more information on what it is you're trying to get me to turn people in for. You know what I mean? That's a little, like, do your job, Kingsport. Do your job. That's just my opinion. And then I saw Trainwreck was talking about the vigil that was at Warriors Pass State Park. Y'all know BHB was there, and of course she was going to slap the fuck off about people that had taken things from Summer's little memorial and shit. And like, I mean, it does happen. Unfortunately, people do stuff like that all the time. Which is why I went back and forth on like totally disclosing.
For the last 23 years, SpongeBob SquarePants has infiltrated the hearts and minds of children and adults all over
SpongeBob.
Its legacy includes hundreds of episodes, made for TV movies, feature films.
SpongeBob Saturday. How about that? Instead of Self-Care Saturday, it's Self-Care because it's SpongeBob Saturday.
Characters who call Bikini Bottom home are not merely products of one man's innocent imagination.
I swear I could totally pass for like a human version of SpongeBob.
Nuclear war.
Or Squidward at times.
The region of the ocean SpongeBob takes place in, Bikini Bottom, is based on the Bikini Atoll, a real group of islands housed within.
I had no idea about that until way after I like wasn't watching SpongeBob anymore, and that was because of Meatouch had told me that.
Just cartoon characters. Instead, it would make them mutated beings forever changed by radioactive fallout, who can now live and think like people. All side effects of man's most horrific achievement. But was this always the
But this is my theory about that kind of too. How do we know that we're not the byproduct of what happened when they dropped the bombs? I mean, obviously the winner always gets to rewrite history, so
Bikini Atoll specifically refers to a small group of islands located within the Marshall Islands, located about halfway between Hawaii and Papua New Guinea. A toll refers to the shape of the island, which is ring-like with a central
like a bikini.
water called a lagoon. After taking the Marshall Islands following World War II, the U.S. decided to use Bikini Atoll and a few other islands, not for a fun beach getaway, but as testing sites for nuclear weapons during the Cold War.
And biological weapons such as anthrax, I'm pretty sure.
Bikinians were removed from the island and relocated by the U.S. government in order to begin nuclear testing in the area. 67 explosives were detonated during various tests between 1946
Okay,
and 1958.
I can't believe with the amount of information that's out there about atomic energy, about atomic weapons, about radiation, about when we dropped the bombs, that nobody seems to realize we're all infected. That whole thing, keep calm, we're all infected. We're all infected. But I think it's just so much more deeper and darker and sinister than that sometimes. And people are like, oh, it's because you're a tinfoil hat. Yeah, well, whenever the shit hits the fan, and y'all have to come running to the gates of the tinfoil hat people, we're gonna like revel in the thought of being able to be like, I told you so, guys. We told you so.
Eventually, Hillenburg moved into animation. He said, quote, I studied natural resources planning and thought I could get a job at some marine park, but I was great at art and so-so at marine biology.
Which is what brings me to my next
Eventually came together.
topic.
Hillenburg attended
Because I think it's really necessary that we take a break from true crime, because I have so many things that I've discovered that I want to go over, but I want to do them in a better like format and cohesive format and layout, whatever. I'm gonna have to turn this down because it's just gonna fuck with me if I don't. So,
made some changes to the original educational comic book. For example,
that being said, I feel like I've almost reached a point in my life where well, I should probably say another turning point. Because I feel like our lives are just made up of smaller little decisions that we make that in the long run are what makes our lives either meaningful or meaningless. I feel like everybody has a purpose. Even if you don't know your purpose yet, which chances are most of us don't, or at least most of us don't think we know what our purpose is. I don't totally know my purpose. However, I do believe that I have a purpose, and I do believe there's a reason why I'm still here now, alive, after surviving the 80s, the 90s, Bush after Bush, Clinton, all that shit, Obama, Trump, Grandpa Joe, everything. And I'm still here. And nobody else has died at my hands. So, yeah. So I feel like I'm here for a reason. And I feel like some of my experiences that I have been through, well, for one, I know that one of them sharing that experience has already been super beneficial for other people, for at least one person in particular that I know personally and I've talked to. It's helped them a lot, just me sharing my story. Just one person. Which is why I do what I do. It's really windy today because typical of North Carolina weather, it's supposed to be like 50 degrees tonight. Yeah, it's super windy today. I mean, it's still very warm outside, but it's really windy. I guess there's a cold front coming in according to the news channel, the news station I was listening to this morning, but I was thinking about seeing if Holly wants to do or jump in a live stream with me later, because last night I was talking to her, and after seeing all these kids' cases, these missing persons cases, I thought, I'm just going to run this by her and see what she thinks, because this is so not typical of her mom. And she immediately was like, literally, she was almost like aghast. Like, she, at the very last sentence of her message was like, I can't even believe that you would say this. This doesn't seem like anything you would say at all. Like, she listened, and I'm so proud of my daughter. You can tell I raised her so well. I had to ask her if I can read off some of the things that. So I told her, I was like, "What do you think about chipping the kids?" And she was like, "What? That's so intrusive and such an invasion on our rights and our privacy." And just, she listed off so many things. Like, oh my goodness, I love her. I was like, well, I just got schooled. I couldn't even, like, I really didn't even have nothing to debate her with once she told me what she said. I was like, okay, I agree with you on all of that. All the way down to the birth certificate and the social security card. She feels kind of like the same way I do. And I was like, I raised her well. But the chipping thing, she said, we already have so many devices that distract us anyways. And a lot of the cases that I'm talking about, she was like, it comes down to the ability of the kid to survive on its own, which they can't. She said, and the ability to know that they're lost, which sometimes they don't know how grave the situation is and stuff like that. And she said, and other times it's a clear lack of parenting and neglect and stuff like that. And she said that's not something the kids should have to pay for by being chipped at birth, because that's what I suggested. I was like, we chip our cats, we chip our cats and dogs. Why are we not doing it with our kids? Think about the amount, and this is what my proposal was. Hold on, guys, before you freak out. You chip them at birth. The only data that it can collect is actual GPS coordinates, pinging, like that type of stuff. No recording of your audio when you're talking to your friends, no camera shit, nothing like that, just the ping of the coordination. Then when you're 16, your parents have to notify you that you were chipped. And then at 18, if you want to have it removed for your own privacy reasons, then you can. With all of your data, and then I think this would be so cool, with a copy of your lifetime data up to the point where you have it removed, of like all the places that you'd been. Yeah. And I feel like once you reach, say, that age of 13 or 14, the ability and access that your parents have to your chip can be modified. For example, like, then you can gain access to your own chip and, in essence, maybe turn it off and turn it on. From like maybe 13 to 18, you can turn it off and turn it on. Only you would know how to do that, you and your parents, and stuff like that. I think it's something that I think at the very least should be brought to the table. And she was like, whoa, I can't. I was like, I'd have you and Tristan chipped. I'd have the kids chipped. She was like, you wouldn't have said that when me and Tristan were kids. I hadn't really thought about chipping my kids because you know how I am about that stuff. But I don't want my kids or my grandbabies to go missing. So, like, honestly, right now, if I could, I'd probably, like, shoot y'all in the neck with a dart and chip y'all anyway. My kids. I just want to know where they are. And I want to know they're safe. And if for some reason I didn't know exactly where they were, I would want to be able to have that, like, little bit of comfort. Like, okay, they're not answering the phone. And then, like, oh, it's probably because they're busy. Like, whatever. But you're not going to know. You would just know that they're okay. Like, they said they're at the chicken shack. So look, boom, there they are. They're at the chicken shack. And if they're not, you have that information to do with what you will while you're a parent and you are within your rights and reasons when you're parenting. Because once your child's 18, if they're lying to you about where they are, that's not really your right or your place to say anything to them, unfortunately. Unless they live in your house. I feel like when you're 18 to 21, even more so, when you still live with your parents, you still kind of have to abide by their rules, and you do have to check in with them and let them know where the hell you're at when you're coming home, if you're not coming home, that kind of stuff. It's just, it's like called being a decent human. So, although I've been taking a break as far as like discussing the true crime with you guys, it doesn't mean that I haven't been still continuing to follow true crime. And I have still been continuing to follow true crime because there is a couple of things that I see pop up in every single case that I'm following. I've had new cases fall into my lap because of the algorithm. Even those cases, when they fall into my lap, I go through them. There's a couple of like key things that I'm looking for with this pattern that I've seen. And they all keep reoccurring. So, and I'm going to go over that eventually, but in light of this incident that happened the other day when I was, some of you guys are going to be like, and some of you guys will be like, ah. Okay, so I was watching Armchair Detective. Don't judge. I don't care. I like his analysis sometimes. Okay? I also suspect, before I ever found him, some of the things that he does as well. However, it's the mods in the chat where I'm getting ready to go off. Because, like I was saying in my last video, no, the video before that, about how moderators can be way too overzealous with their authority. And some of his mods are like that. Okay? For one, if someone chooses to dox themselves, that's their issue. That's their problem. That's their responsibility. That's their dumb decision that they made. I didn't feel like mine at the time, considering what it was regarding and who I was discussing it with, unless there's a reason I need to be concerned about other people in your chat being fucking creeps. So, but I generally give everybody the benefit of the doubt and assume, which is probably a dumb assumption, that most people are not ill-willed towards me and are not thinking of harming me, at least not right away, especially if they don't know me yet. They're not thinking of harming me yet. And then once they get to know me, they might be, but that's okay. Well, don't harm me. I'm just saying that's their opinion. They can feel however they want to. But whenever we're discussing things and I then share information, and people start asking me questions, and it was okay when they were asking me questions, and it was okay when I answered, because they were able to get that information that they hadn't really gotten before, I guess, because you could tell by the way people were asking me, they're like, where did you, wait, what? I was like, yeah, I can't believe you guys have not noticed the dog, Jane and the dogs. That is not the first case that Jane has been involved with. It is not the second case that Jane has been involved with and her dogs, okay? And Jane has been a canine search and rescue lady for a long time. Her dogs have been involved with multiple cases. I can't believe you guys did not know that. So I proceeded to share with them at least 2 other places that I know for a fact that I've seen Jane and her dogs doing investigations and search and rescue stuff. And once I shared that with them, all of a sudden I was timed out. And then I got a message for being, as to why I was being timed out. And it was because, oh yeah, after they got that information from me about where I had learned about, where I'd seen Jane before, then it was like, oh, don't be talking about other creators in the chat. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we were investigating. I thought that's what we do here in the true crime community. So if you're being like that catty fucking bullshit, what it is you don't want other people going and finding another channel and, oh my God, possibly supporting them as well, or maybe not him anymore and just supporting that other channel. That's really selfish. Like, you're a moderator. You do that shit for fucking free. Why are you acting like the motherfucker pays you? So, I'm not going to call them out by name here because they know who they are and other people know who they are. If you're a mod for him, then I'm probably speaking directly upon you because I don't know any mods he has. But fuck y'all. You're being bitches. You're being bitches, and you know you're being a bitch. I said what I said. I don't even fucking care anymore. Either you like me or you don't. I don't fucking care. That's on you if you don't. It really is. Just know that when I come in and chat and I'm discussing stuff, if you do something like that to me, yeah, I'm probably gonna, like, at the very least, no, I might start doing that. At least calling you your YouTube handle out, because most of y'all are fucking pussy ass fucking keyboard gangsters that would never show your damn face to who you're talking shit to, let alone in public show your face to who the fuck you're talking shit to. Because you ain't got no damn balls. That's why you sit behind a keyboard and all day. I mean, I sit behind a keyboard and discuss things too. However, you don't see me hide my face. At all. And the second that somebody goes, hey, blah, 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 meet me down here in the circle or blah, 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 on the playground, wherever, Waffle House parking lot, I don't give a shit. If you really want to be like that and you don't want to talk it out like a civilized human being, well, I guess we can do that. I would hope that if you're an adult and you're a man, that we could civilly talk to one another and there would be no violence at all. I would hope that if you're a woman, you're a respectable woman and you wouldn't want to get caught fighting like that in public. However, I understand there's many women out there who are like Jody Sue, probably don't give a shit about how they look in public or anything else for that matter, and will more than be happy to oblige you with some toe-to-toe fighting in a parking lot somewhere. Okay? Now, I wouldn't go out looking for that kind of drama, but if that drama gets brought to my table, then I will serve it right back to the person that delivered it. I'm not going to stand there like no bitch just because we're in public and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I will make sure that I'm so more mindful next time. No, fuck you. You get in my face and you want to act like that, then we can do the damn thing. I mean, really. Because honestly, I know me. And I know that I am generally upfront a pretty nice person. And I'm willing to hear anybody out about anything. How did I record? I don't know about that. I'm going to have to check that and get back. Because it's saying I'm close to my time. So let me check that. And then I'll be back. Okay. So much love. One love. Good vibes.